Coming up next on the Green Update, I'm going to have some tips on how you can bike around town a bit safer this fall.
We've had a full week of the new daylight schedule since last weekend's time change. Still takes some adjusting though, doesn't it? When your own safety depends on visibility and being seen in the dark, you can't afford to wait for everyone else to adjust.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today for the Green Update. My name is Matt Higgs from Peterborough Green Up, and today I'm joined by Sauve from the City of Peterborough and Talia Bach, who's also from Peterborough Green Up, and we're going to be talking a little bit about getting around safely when you're out and about this fall after dark. Sue, tell us a little bit about what pedestrians and cyclists can do when they're out.
Well, the first thing is to be aware that it is much harder to see cyclists and pedestrians when there's decreasing ambient light, and that can be at night, but in the fall the sun is lower in the sky as it goes south, and even on a rainy day the ambient light is less in the fall than it would be, say, on a July day. So even on a rainy day, you need to think about visibility as a cyclist or a pedestrian. And the biggest thing is what you wear, and you can see that we're demonstrating some very bright clothing. This was a gift from my father before he got me a bike. Oh, yes. So this one in particular I do reserve for darker, rainier days and nights. It's a little on the fluorescent side.
You can definitely see you coming.
You can see me coming? Good, good. I do recommend buying something that you are willing to wear most of the time. Yes. This is a little brighter than my normal taste. Mm-hmm. But what Talia has on is really flexible because it can go over almost anything that she would choose to wear. Like today, a sweater, another day it could be a winter jacket, yes, something like that.
And what about cyclists in particular? What can they wear to be safe?
Well, cyclists in particular have the clothing, and sort of the focus is lighter and brighter clothing is better, especially reflective materials. Like I think on this jacket there's a reflective stripe here, and on your armband, which could be used by a cyclist or a pedestrian, there's a reflective stripe there. Yes. And when light hits it at the right angle, it will be quite bright. Mm-hmm. Cyclists also need to have lights on, a white light in the front, and Talia's bike here has some nice lights. There's a front light here, and it has a rear light on the back. Mm-hmm. And the rear light, you'll often see a flashing light, and that does let the battery power last for longer, which is helpful. Yes. In looking for lights, pay lots of attention to what kind of batteries it has, whether it can be recharged, and how long those batteries will last. Okay. Because it's really frustrating as a cyclist to think you're set up with the lights, and then every time you go out, oh, they're not quite working.
Exactly. And we all know the colder weather has arrived. What can cyclists wear to be a bit warmer and more comfortable when they're out?
One thing that cyclists really struggle with is how to wear the helmet and have the head warm. Mm-hmm. So Talia, you want to show us your skull cap? This is not just for Halloween, it's for cold weather riding, and so there are hats that are specifically made to go under bike helmets. So if you are riding in the colder months, I recommend that you get something that can, if you don't have one already, something that can go under your helmet, and it's a good time of year to remember your helmet at all times.
Okay. All right. And thank you for joining us today for the Green Update. My name is Matt Higgs from Peterborough Green Up, and we'll see you next week.
The Green Update is brought to you by the City of Peterborough, reminding you to separate your recycling into two streams: paper products and film plastics or containers.
If you have questions about this episode of the Green Update, call Peterborough Green Up at 745-3238.